everyone. I'm just going to be streaming my Peruvian lily that I've been painting. It's been a while actually since I started painting on it. And the other night I decided I really wanted to get back into painting it. So there's a couple things I've done, and I'm going to show you what I've done. Ooh, I need to fix the color on this. Give me a second here. There we go. That was just a little bright. That's about where I am. This painting is pretty big. If you've watched my other live streams, it's about 16 by 20. And I actually cut it down from an 18 by 24 because I didn't feel like I was getting enough focus on the actual flower. So a few things that I did, and I will move this around, is the last time I painted on it, I was really working hard to try to get the values darkened in the background, and especially down in here. So I've got things quite a bit darker in the background. In fact, there we go. Just adjusted the brightness a little bit. But not only did I darken the background, but I changed the color of the leaves a little bit to a cooler blue. So that was a better contrast and complementary colors with those, the pinks and the reds. So I think today I'm going to start painting on all these little bits right around in that area. So I'm going to zoom in a little bit. Guess I should check and make sure that my sound is working. Okay, I think everybody can hear me. If you can't, just let me know, and I will check it on the. I will check the chat just to make sure. All right, here I go. I'm painting with one of my large palettes. So you won't be able to see my palettes, but again, this is just for fun. But I don't mind any questions if you'd like to ask. And got my paper towels out. Okay, whew. There's a lot of detail in this little area. There we go. Now I can see that a little bit better. You know what? I just realized this is upside down. Let me rotate this a little bit. Why is that? Oh, there we go. Now it's correct. Okay. There we go. This little area is going to be a challenge. Ooh, this is going to be hard. Just kind of switching back and forth between the yellow and the red. But as I get, as I get up closer to where those little water droplets are, it's a little bit bluer. So I'm going to pick up some blue. Oh, I shouldn't let those areas sit that long. There we go. This actually has a little bit of some yellow right along that edge. I've definitely lost some of that, some of those highlights, but I'll pick those back out later. And then I'm going to have fun with my Dremel tool, and then I'm going to pick out all the little hairs right on that edge. This was kind of a little last minute streaming. But it will be available as a replay. Let's see, more blue. Woo! I'm gonna have to get a really, really small brush. Oh boy. I have my 5-aught. I'm definitely going to have to pick some hairs out around the edge and highlight. Let's see how this is going to work. Let's see. Ooh, this is going to be quite the challenge. I think I may have to leave this little area till last. For one thing, I need to get that little highlight right back around the side there. So yeah, that's not looking like what I actually want it to look like. I should have been more careful when I was doing that little spot. So I'm just going to leave that alone for now. Staying with my tiny brush for now. Or maybe I'll switch back. Oh, look at that. Let's get a little scrubber and soften that area. Okay. Going back to a bigger brush. Okay. Sometimes when I get started painting, it's almost like you have to kind of warm up a little bit, figure out where you're going, what you're doing, slowly building up the layers. I'm looking at my says stream, and I can't figure out why it's exactly the opposite. I may have to stop and restart this because that, let's see. Don't know. I'm seeing it the correct way. Give me a minute here. Give me just a sec to figure this out. Why? Put my hand there. Okay, so what I should do. Okay. I'm just ignore that and I won't stream from YouTube on over next time. I'll stick with my little program I have. Technology. Feel like I need to widen the base of the stem a little bit. There we go. I'm not worried about blending out down in this area because that's going to be pretty dark, but I am turning my palette a little bit. I should have let that dry a little bit. I had some of my magenta, my yellow mixed up. Well, that's bleeding over. See how my color bled out over to the side because that wasn't dry enough and it bled out a little bit right there. Must have got some water there. So I'm going to go work on another area. Let that dry a little bit. Why did I decide to work on the most difficult part? I might stop here in a minute. There's actually a lot of yellow in this little area and a lot of red. Gotta get these colors blended right in there. See where I'm at. Ooh, there's going to be a lot of detail right there. Ooh. It's so hard sometimes when you're starting an area and you haven't built up any of the values yet. Sun's changing and I had to adjust my colors. I'm going to back out a little bit. I think I need to dry it just a bit. I think I'm going to stop that area. I don't know quite, honestly, I just don't quite know what I'm going to do with that. I'm going to work over here. In fact, I should put up the image so you can actually see what I'm painting. So let's see. Let's put that up there. Give me just a sec. Where is that? There we go. Oh dear. Okay, that was wrong. There we go. I forgot to add a new layer first. There we go. Here we go. Aha. There we go. Get it the right direction. Okay, let's see. I think I'm going to go with my number 2 again. I've got to build up some values, especially right down in this area. I actually need to add yellow. And some blue. Now I'm going to a bigger brush. There we go. There's a lot of deep values in this area. It's very difficult on these bigger petals. You have to kind of figure out where you want to end your water. Although I do have enough paint on here now that I don't have to worry about making really hard edges, which is good. Back to a bigger brush. Really have to get these values deep before I can go on and try to do any sort of detail. Some kind of getting some really thick color on there. This area is hard. think what might help me see color a little bit more. Wait, that needs. I'm going to add in that stripe, that little, I guess you could call it kind of like a tiger stripe. Now I've got to dry it a little bit. Hi, Shannon. Oh, I'm glad somebody spoke up and said something. Let me know if you can't hear me. Okay. Well, I feel a little bit better. I was having a hard time. Seeing what's going on in my stream. So I am so sorry about that. And now it is, now I'm really seeing that it's backwards. That is so annoying. Let me switch this back around. There we go. Oh my gosh. Okay. Everybody just forget about what I've been doing. Got it back to normal. All right. I hear you fine. Oh, good. Woo. Okay. Well, you know what I did? Oh, I'm so glad somebody's actually can hear me. I had gone the other direction. I started from YouTube onto my Minicam, and boy, that just did not. Everything looked backwards and weird. So this is much better. Although, let's see. I just want to make sure everything's looking bright. Okay. Good. All right. Whoo. Now I can relax and paint. Alrighty, let's see. This little area is a bear. So it's going to take quite a while. I'm going to start out dry this time. Okay, so much for my bumpy start. Yeah, so I'm not wetting. I think I've got enough layers that are wet. I think I'm going to have to go back and forth between one of my big brushes to soften and blend. There's just a lot of blues. A lot of blues and purples right up here. No, let's see. I'm going to keep that. I think I'll zoom in a little bit. That way you can see it a little bit better. I'm going to go back to my little brush, but keep my bigger brush in my hand. I'm warming up my red, a little bit of that yellow. And it's interesting because as it gets under this petal right here, it starts getting a little bit warmer. Nope, not enough paint. And then right up in this area, it's pretty rosy. Oh, I'm so glad I started painting this again. It's nice when you've got those staining colors in the background, because then you don't have to worry about it pulling into your foreground image. I think I need to get my really, really, really tiny brush. I forgot to take off those lines. Okay, much better. Oh, better. Okay. Try not to get too close to that edge, but it is going to be quite a bit darker. And a little bit more. So then it starts blending down in this area. Boy, I think this one's going to take me a while. There's a lot of detail in these petals. So I think I'm just going to keep adding a little bit more color at a time. The easiest way it's feeling like is if I just keep kind of doing a little bit of dry brushing. So I build up those basic values. And then honestly, I'm really thinking about maybe using my Dremel tool and my giant sanding tip that I just got and skipping over this to pull out some whites. But I think it's getting there. Let's see. Shannon, I added some cooler blues to the background of the painting I'm working on. It made a big difference. I've been looking at it, trying to figure out why I wasn't liking it, and I think I fixed that. Yeah, you know, it's really interesting that once you really start looking at colors, and because you're mixing all your own colors, you really start focusing in on what they're actually looking like. It's like right now, now that there's just this weird part where you just feel like, nothing I'm doing at this moment really seems to be making much of a difference. And then bam, all of a sudden it does. So now all of a sudden I'm starting to see the cooler areas and the warmer areas of these pinks starting to come through. See, and over here it's still a little bit damp, but I love that because it's just kind of helping to feather out that color a little bit. So I'm just kind of skipping around with my brush. Hear any clanking going on? It's because I have a cough drop because or every year at this time I usually end up getting a bad cough. It really stinks. Oh, see, now I'm really starting to feel it come together. I'm glad I kind of skipped around at first and finding the area I need to be in. There's actually a line right here. Oops. Now as I head out, I keep switching back to these cooler pinks, but then there's all these warm pinks mixed in. And Shannon, if you're still listening and you're still here, I'm just so impressed at how much progress you've made. I see a future where you have some amazing paintings coming to you. See how this little area right here, it's so dark, yet right now I don't have the value dark enough. So I'm really going to have to work at that. So I'm adding in a little bit some of the blues to help tone it down a little bit. But then all of a sudden it gets nice and fiery and warm again. Then comes down to that point. And there's definitely some areas where it's very light. I just saw your comment, Shannon, and it's actually the truth. I feel invested in you, and I'm just excited. I just can't wait to see what you start painting. I mean, you know what I mean. I just see you You know, you're always posting on Instagram. I'm really bad about that. And I just see you getting better and better. I'm very impressed. Mm. Let's move it up just a hair. Okay, there we go. Red. Need some of that yellow. There is a lot of yellow. One thing I have to keep in mind too is this is the petal that's underneath all the other ones. So even though I'm adding colors, trying to increase the saturation, I'm also going to have to drop it back down. And I see where it's going to start going. You can definitely see how down in this area, I'm gonna have to pull out some of those really, really light areas, but I'll work on that. I'll work on that later. I know I've said this a million times, but my gosh, is value hard to see. It really is. It's like every time you think you've got value correct somewhere, something else comes along and you're like, oh no, that's not dark enough. Or it's too dark and you've got to make it lighter. See, some parts of this to me they're like this fiery orange color and fiery pinks, and then all of a sudden it's a duller area. But one thing that's neat about that is at least it doesn't get boring. I just picked up a lot of yellow and dropping it right in that super dark area. Then there's going to be some areas right here that are really, really dark. And that's what I wasn't doing in the background. I just was not getting those dark enough values. Then again, it's been a while since I painted such an intense background. Kind of happened the more I started teaching. I guess I just wasn't having as much time. They take a long time. See how it's slowly, slowly starting to build. I'm going to drop some more yellows in those areas. And actually, I'm going to drop some more magenta. I meant to post this. Pantone just came out with their new color for the year, and it's magenta. And it's really magenta too. It leans a little bit, their color of the year leans a little bit towards the cool side, the very, very cool magenta side. See, that needs some yellow right there. Trust me, if your darks are looking pretty dull, just add yellow and add it right around the edge, and that makes a huge difference. Ooh, let's see. I had a little bit more color than I wanted, but that's okay. Once I am done with trying to establish some of this color or these values, then I'll go back and, of course, have to pick out all the highlights because I never seem to be able to keep them completely. And look at how intense this red is right on that side. You can tell that I haven't even gotten near the intensity or the values. It's really nice when you start really building the color and it starts filling in those fibers, for lack of a better word. Then you can feel like you can skip around more, and I don't worry so much at that point with whether or not the color's dried. Because your paper starts drying faster. See how I didn't have any hard edges there? It's because I've got enough paint sitting on the paper. That's why this is my favorite part of the painting, because I don't have to worry so much about having little hard edges. Yeah, Shannon, you're right. It wasn't as dark in the image, but you're right. It just sometimes, I mean, no matter how much we like realism, things don't always turn out the way you think they're going to when you start working on the actual painting. And I realized that just looked much better. And I can already see, like, right there, it's just going to be, it's just a lot more pigment. And yellow. See, right there, I can, my paper right here is actually kind of buckled a little bit, even though I have it taped down. Um, but it's okay because I know what my paint is doing with my paper, although it is feeling like I need to dry it a little bit. See how much yellow I have on my brush? And I know I've, of course, said this 100 times, but I love that as Nicolazo yellow gets thicker, instead of getting muddy, it just gets darker. And I love that. Okay, I've got to dry this because it's really starting to buckle now. Now that I'm drawing this and I can see how dark these areas are, even though I have quite a bit to build up right along here, this is already looking too light up here. But looking at the picture, that image, it really is dark. I wanted to zoom out so I could just get a better look, move everything off so I could really see it. And you can really see now how those darker values are making these areas look really light. So I have a lot to do over here. I have to get in this stamen, but it doesn't feel quite dry enough. I just wanted to zoom out too so you could kind of see where I am with those really dark values up there, and especially over in this corner. It's helping to balance everything out, especially because I've got some dark areas right in here and then some great darks in here. And I actually, since I covered over some of my highlights, I'll need to lift them out again. Hi, Wendy. Nice to meet you. Glad you're here. Yeah, Shannon, now that we've gotten through Christmas and some other things, that's the next one on the list is going to be it'll be a little bit different, but it's going to be the same basic Peruvian lilies in more of a square format, so I'll have an easier time painting it as a tutorial. And yes, Wendy, that Pantone magenta is just stunning. It's so beautiful. I'm just kind of feeling it to make sure it's completely dry. I think there's one little area right down in here. It's not quite dry. All right, I think I'm good there. So going to lift this back up and zoom back in. Okay, let's see. Whew. It's amazing now how much lighter that little area actually looks, but I'm going to keep going. I'm going to zoom in some more. Let's see. Okay. See, I feel like the way I was working on that texture right in that area is working. So actually, I need to get some water on my colors. I was using my little sprayer on my plants. It's so dry right now that I took it into my bedroom and I'm just happily spraying my plants, and I forgot to bring it back in. Okay. Yeah, all my colors are like really dry. And that also happens too, of course, when you're using a hair dryer. All right, there we go. Okay, so you know what? I'm going to actually pick up a little bit of yellow. I'm going to come back And in those areas where I see warmth, just dropping some of that yellow in. This is where I really start to have fun on my paintings, is when I start building those layers, these lovely layers of color. Cool areas, warm areas, complementary colors, building up those saturations. It's like right in here. Now this is the point where I'm really building those saturations. There's actually a lot of yellow right in this area, but I need to get some of that red in there. So now I'm just kind of taking the tip of my brush, just kind of wiggling it around. And this area still needs to be darker. I need red in there. So now I can really see my areas of cool and warm. Now it's starting to, I feel like, come together. Then I'm really noticing on the tips, the edges, that it's really very cool, or I'm sorry, very warm red. And right through here. Even though this area down here, I'm seeing it as cooler, soon as it dries, I'm going to drop some yellow here and there in these areas. And then I'll feel like it will just kind of float along the top. In fact, is that what I want to do now, or do I want to wait? I think I'll wait a little bit. Now that I've added more color right in that area, I've got to get that darker. That is just not, it's got to be darker. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to dry it, and then I'm going to start dropping in color, and then I'm going to do that nice little stripe, that little tiger stripe. Just going to give that a second. So what I think I'm going to do, no, I am actually going to do this. Wetting everything with water. I don't want to get too close to that stamen yet. Look at how, even with all that color I have on there, look at how nicely everything stays right where I put it. Okay, let's see. I'm going to pick up some of my bluish violet magenta color. I'm just going to drop it in. Actually, less blue, more magenta. I just picked up some clean water on my brush to spread that around. I think I need more red. I'm going to switch to a small brush and get some thick magenta. Oh, that was, well, maybe it won't be too much. I'm definitely struggling here with getting this super dark value. Yikes. It's almost like I'm being too timid in getting it on the paper. And you can kind of see right in this area how dark and kind of dull that color is. Okay, now I'm going to dry it again. think once this completely dries, then I'm going to put that little guy in there, that little stripe. But I think it looks a little weird. It's just one. So I'm almost tempted to put one more right next to it. Ooh, this was really soaked. Okay, I'm going to let that cool off. I'm going to zoom out. Just to get a better look at what's going on with, in fact, I'm going to pull that image over a little bit. And now you can really see how different that is now. It's darker, but I may need to make it a little bit duller in these areas. Of course, I got to get that little guy there, which I think is going to really help. But as I'm looking at the image, this is even still too light. So this has got to go a little bit darker, I think. But so far so good. I've got to get this part in. And then I might jump over to this petal here. Probably not today. But so far, I think I've got it. I really feel like now I feel a connection with this area. One of the things, see, I'm looking at this as I've been looking at this painting for the last few days. So I've got this area and this dark area, and then there's a few down here. But what I didn't want is for your eye to be drawn over to this dark spot. But on the other hand, these are going to be the lightest petals. So it's very important that you see that extreme value, the very dark darks and the lightest lights. And that's what's just going to make this part of it just really glow. So I have to make sure that down here, I get these petals dark enough too, that helps the weight of the painting and that it doesn't tilt towards this area. So yeah, there's a lot that goes into it when you are planning and working on a painting, but I think it's getting there. I'm pretty excited. This just needs to dry a little bit more. No. I'm not going to dry this. While this paper is still a little damp, I'm going to do what I did on that little spot, and I'm going to go ahead and put that in. So let me zoom back in. Okay, let's So pull my color back over. Grab a number 0 and I just put some blue on the top of that. And let's get a little bit more magenta, because it's not this little stripe. It's actually got a shape to it. Let's see. Just want to soften those edges. And then right over here, now is where I can really start focusing on this is kind of like that amaryllis that I did. Getting dark values, especially dark reds, can be a challenge. You can see like there's a little highlight right in there, and I'm going to want to dig that out. And then all those little, I don't know what you'd call them. I guess it's just light shining through from the other side of the petal. Yeah, I definitely want to try to get those little light areas back in. A little one right there. It's amazing how much color I've already put on here, and I'm still putting more. It did lift a little bit of that color right in this little area, but it wasn't too bad. Okay, I think that definitely helped. I think I'm going to take my tiny scrubber maybe dry that area, probably spread a little bit too quick. Let's see. line them up very good, did I? Put that. I put that one in the wrong spot. Ugh. Alrighty then. I'm not going to be happy with that until I fix it. But I do know one thing, other than me having to fix that little spot right there, make it look. I think I know what I need to do. I have to make that line. That should be dark right there. That's what needs to go on. Okay. I figured it out. Yeah, because there's really not a solid line right there. It's just those little areas kind of peeking through. I should have put those little, yeah. I see what I did. I see what I did. Covering them back up. Where they needed to be was right in that area, and that's not where they ended up. I guess it doesn't really matter. It matters to me. All right. I think I'm going to stop. And oh boy, I still need to build up. Can you believe that? That's still not dark enough. Can't believe how long it took me to get that value in there. I think I'm going to stop for a little bit on that. Okay. It's getting there. I probably took way longer than I needed to get those really dark values. But on the other hand, taking that time really, excuse me, really added some saturation in there. But what I need to do, obviously, is get those colors built up more in there and that little area. And this definitely has got to be, the value's got to be much darker. But I'm feeling like it's getting there. So I think, what time is it? It's, well, here, let's look at this even closer. For me, it is now 3 o'clock on a Sunday. So I think I'm going to go ahead and call it good for today. How long have I been streaming? An hour and a half, maybe. So anyhow, I'm going to, let's see, let's switch back. Hi, everybody. Okay, so I think I'm going to go ahead and stop streaming for right now, and then maybe just enjoy the rest of the afternoon and let it thoroughly dry, and then come back and assess it a little bit more. So, okay, this was fun. And Shannon and Wendy and Ruth and everybody, I'm glad that you joined me. So I'm going to sign off and go enjoy the rest of my Sunday. So have a good rest of your day, everybody.